Hello, dear students. Greetings of the day. Today we are having the sixth lecture of chapter 3, which is the first phase of Indian national movement. So we were studying about the Indian national movement and particularly about the first phase of Indian national movement. So there were some very prominent leaders during the first phase of Indian national movement, like Gopal Krishna Gokhale, like Vimesh Chandra Banerjee, W.C. Banerjee, and Dadabhai Naoroji. Right. So in this lecture, we are going to study about the prominent early nationalists, which would be the last topic of our chapter. So under this, we will study about the three prominent leaders. The first one is Dadabhai Naoroji, second is Gopal Krishna Gokhale, and the last one will be Surendranath Banerjee. So in this lecture, we will study about the Dadabhai Naoroji. Dadabhai Naoroji, you must have seen his picture also. A very grand old man he was called. If you can see here in your book, right? So he is Dadabhai Naoroji. He was a Parsi. Now he was called the grand old man, right? Grand old man, and he was also called India's unofficial ambassador. Now why he was called India's unofficial ambassador and why he was called grand old man, that we will study. Okay. So Dadabhai Naoroji was one of the very influential leader. He was a very rich leader, and who uh, worked in England also, and he influenced the British people a lot. Okay, and he was the person who was able to look through the economic designs of Britishers. Okay, he was the person who gave his very famous drain of wealth theory, right, in his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. Clear? So we will study a few points about Dadabhai Naoroji. The most important thing, the question of 1 mark and 2 mark is asked that who is called the grand old man of India. So Dadabhai Naoroji is called grand old man. Second, who is called unofficial ambassador of India, right? So Dadabhai Naoroji, unofficial ambassador of India. Then they may ask you who published or edited the Rast Koftar newspaper. So Dadabhai Naoroji, right? And they also ask you who founded the East India Association in London. Again, Dadabhai Naoroji, right? And they may ask who gave the drain of wealth theory, Dadabhai Naoroji. Who wrote the book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India, Dadabhai Naoroji. So we will study about Dadabhai Naoroji. Dadabhai Naoroji took birth on 4th of September 1825 in Mumbai in a Parsi family. So he was a Parsi, and Parsis were wealthy generally at the time, and today is also, right. So he took birth on 4th of September. On 5th September we celebrate Teachers Day. Okay, and it it is the date of birth of Dr. Sapali Radhakrishnan. Okay. Now 4th of September, one day before the date of birth of Dadabhai Naoroji. So on 4th of September 1825 in Mumbai. Then he worked as a professor of mathematics. Okay, he worked as a professor of mathematics in Elphinstone College of Mumbai. Okay, Elphinstone College of Mumbai. Then after that he worked there, and later on, okay, in 1850s he left his job, right, and went to England. He in 1855 he left the job and went to England. Okay, there he went in order to have some business work. Okay, he was having a partnership in a firm, and because of that work he went to England, and then afterwards he returned from there, and then after that he was elected member to Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Mumbai Municipal Corporation, and later to the Town Council. Okay, so and then after that he founded Bombay Association, right? And he edited a newspaper Rastogoftar, okay, and one magazine he published which was Dharm Marg. So Rastogoftar was the newspaper which was about Parsis, okay. Rastogoftar means telling the truth, right? And magazine means magazine here Dharm Marg, okay. Then after that what happened, till here he was in India, right? And then he went to England, okay. And in England he was talking on behalf of the India, right? He was a person who was putting forward the grievances of Indian people in front of the Britishers. In front of, he was the person who, with a propaganda uh, to to tell the truth of British rule and the grievances of Indians because of that rule, sufferings of the Indians due to that rule to the British people. Okay, so he wanted to make, he wanted to have the support of the British people. He wanted to create the public opinion, okay, in favor of the Indian people, right? So for that he used to expose, or he used to tell the truth of the British rule to the people, and he used to convince them, right, to do the welfare work of Indians, right, to force British government to do welfare work of Indians, right? So this was done, and as he used to advocate the welfare of Indians, so he was called the unofficial ambassador of India. Why unofficial? Because India was not a country then, okay? It was under the British rule themselves, okay? Ambassador is generally a person, a representative or delegate of a country who is sent to the another country on behalf of that country, okay. So India was not independent at the time, right? So that is why he was considered as the unofficial ambassador of India. Then after that uh, he London, he founded the London Indian Society in 1865, okay. And what was the work of that society? The work of that society was to publicize the grievances, okay, publicize the Indians grievances, the problems of the Indian people, right? And then okay, then after that, he was the person, first Indian to become member of British House of Commons. Okay, like we are having Lok Sabha in India. That like that they we have taken this feature from Britain. Okay, in Britain there is House of Lords and House of Commons, right? So he was the first person, first Indian, okay, first Indian to become the member of that British House of Commons. And in that British House of Commons, he uh, demanded, okay, various civil rights to the Indian people, okay, and various reforms, economic as well as political constitutional reforms in India, right? And it was because of his arguments that the exam of ICS, which was conducted only in Britain, was also started conducting in India also, because it was not possible for Indians to go to England and take the exam. Okay, so he convinced the Britishers uh, to held exam to hold exam in India also, right? Then after that, he founded East India Association in London. Okay, East India Association. So after that, he came to India, right, and he was elected the president of Indian National Congress 3 times. Okay, the first president of Indian National Congress was W.C. Banerjee. Okay, so it is asked who was the first president of Indian National Congress. So you will write W.C. Banerjee, Bimosh Chandra Banerjee. And sometime it is also asked that who was the second president of Indian National Congress. So the second president of Indian National Congress was Dadabhai Naoroji. This session was organized in Kolkata. Where? Kolkata. right, in Kolkata. And then afterwards, he was elected the president of Indian National Congress session, which was organized in Lahore in 1893. Then again, he was elected as the president of uh, the Indian National Congress session, which was organized in Kolkata just before the Surat split, okay, in 1906, right? So here, this was the time, right, when the assertive nationalists were becoming more dominant, and they became so much dominant that they convinced Dadabhai Naoroji to declare Swaraj for the first time from the platform of Congress. Okay, from the Congress platform, it was the first time, okay, 1906, that Swaraj was declared. Okay, so you will have to remember all these things. Okay, then he wrote a book, Poverty and British Rule in India, and in that book, he told about the drain of wealth theory, and then in 1917 he died. Okay, so the most important point here will be this one, Grand Old Man, and this one, India's unofficial ambassador, and this one, Rast Goftar, okay, and London India Society 1865, first Indian member to be, this one, and this one, President thrice, okay, and this one. These points are very important, so don't forget these points. In next lecture, we will study about uh, the next prominent leader, who is Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Thank you so much.